Hey Lucy, how you doing? This is Christian here down here in Santiago, Chile. Really sunny day. It's a really cool autumn day with a really nice temperature outside. So I'm decided to jump into this contest. Into this thread that I saw my good friend Steve Overwell as a stage doing a response to this thread. I think it was started by a really cool guy showing the Holy Trinity of in some bands and discography. Three consecutive great studio albums, no compilation, no live records. Do you think are the best things the band ever done, did, or hopefully they some bands can do even better than that. I think you have a good stack of things. I start pulling things out and then I decided to stop because it was way too much. I have a mix of CDs, cassettes, and vinyl. I try to not to show the usual suspects of the big names like I don't know Zeppelin, Floyd, I don't know stuff like that. When you can almost I don't know, not the whole discography is a holy trinity or a holy I don't know whatever, but I think I have a good stack of things that you have maybe not seen in this thread, and they are more in the heavy metal hard rock side of music. So without further ado, let's start with one of my favorite bands from from Germany. They started in the late 70s, in 79 I think it's their debut. Then they start putting quality stuff in the 80s, and then I discovered with this with this is remember this is their fourth or fifth studio album, and I'm talking about Accept. Of course, the first one has to be in this Holy Trinity is Restless and Wild. Awesome album. Everybody who listens to heavy metal music, to hard rock music, to hard stuff, know this one. I know how it starts. I know we all know how we react for the first time we heard a fast as a shock killer stuff. Then they did even much better with Balls to the Wall, another awesome album. And the third one is it's Metal Heart, a kind of a little bit more commercial, but still a really good one. Still with the classic lineup with Udo, Wolfgang, Peter Baltes, and Stefan Kaufmann or Schwarzman on drums. Killer stuff. Let's go with yes, one of the big names. One of the big names I'm still having here. I'm going to show. To me, this is their you can almost say that the first six albums from this band is are masterpiece. But I'm going to go with these three ones by Sabbath. Of course, to me, the best one they ever did is Master of Reality. Then we have Volume 4 and Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. You can then you can add, of course, Sabotage or the first two albums. They're also great stuff. But these are my three ones. Next, let's go with Lemmy and the Boys. Motorhead. To me, it's Overkill. Awesome song. You that song, that riff, that crunching sound of the bass and the gritty vocals of Lemmy are all over this place. So this is one. Then we have Ace of Spades and Iron Fist. You can escape the grip of the Iron Fist. So there goes Motorhead. Okay, let's speed this thing up. Yep. Another UK band from the new wave of British heavy metal. They still going strong. They have put, I think, almost everything in their catalog is really good, except a couple of things they did in the late 80s when they changed from a small level to a big one. I'm talking about Raven. Here we have, yes, the debut, Rock Till You Drop, and awesome artwork. The second one, Wipe Out. And the third one in this Trinity, All for One. Great stuff. There you have the guys, the two Gallagher brothers, the cool Gallagher brothers, and Wacko on drums. Next, to me, this is the best thing they ever done. Of course, you can also maybe add a couple things they done after the third one. You can stretch it a little bit further, or even before this stuff. Their discovery is kind of complicated in the early years because they only release things in their own country. But to me, this is without a doubt one of the best things they ever done. ACDC Power Age, maybe the best cover they ever, the best artwork they did, because this represents ACDC. Highway to Hell, with Angus with the with the cool forms here, and Bond looking very friendly and looking so cool. And of course, Back in Black. Next, let's go with yep, killer stuff from one of the big four bands from the thrash scene from the 80s. Of course, Megadeth, Slayer. Here we have Rain and Blood, Seasons in the Abyss, and of course, South of Heaven. Next. To me, the first six albums are almost not perfect, but I think they have a 1 week one in the first six albums they did with the classic lineup. But to me, this is three excellent albums. You can almost stretch it up to the fourth album. It's Van Halen with their debut, number 2, Van Halen 2, and Women and Children first. You can add to this Trinity, of course, Fair Warning, another great stuff. Then we have Dive It Down. We know some people like it, some people hate it, but it is what it is. Next, let's go with a band you don't see very often. Yes, here in the VC, they are an awesome band. I got the chance to see them on the third album I'm going to show. Doing a really cool show here in Santiago, Chile. I think was 94 maybe, or 96. Yes, I think it was 96. I'm talking about Living Color and their debut. This is a Vivid, great stuff. Here we have Time's Up, and the third one, Stain. This is the album they were touring. They were on tour, and I got the chance to see them live in a small gymnasium, a small stadium, a small gig, a small venue, sorry, and it was a great show from the mighty Living Color. Okay, let's speed this thing up. Another big name, no introduction need. I think this is mandatory. Yep, nothing more to add to that. Here, another 3 that I think this is without a doubt the best thing they've done. After the fourth one, it's not so good, and from then they completely lost me. I have not added anything further. The fourth big huge elephant in the room. It's Def Leppard with their debut, On Through the Night, High and Dry, and Pyromania. This is the deluxe edition. It has a cool. Disc 2 is a live performance at the LA Forum in '83. So there it goes. Def Leppard. We're almost there. Yes, these guys. Another one of the bands that I really like from the 80s hard rock music scene that came out of Los Angeles. It's Token, Tooth and Nail, Under Lock and Key, and Back for the Attack. I think that's all you need from Token. Maybe you can also add their debut to have the complete first four records, album releases. But I think this is the meat and cheese of the band. I'm also while looking after the, the live album Beast from the East, and also wanted to add the Breaking the Chains, sorry, the first one, to complete the first five things they put out. Okay, let's go with a band from Sacramento, I think from they're from California, but no, I can't remember exactly where they're from. Tesla, their debut, Mechanical Resonance. This is a very old Argentinian person with everything translated to Spanish. The second one, Tesla, the Great Radio Controversy. This is my OG from back in the day. The inner cylinder shrink and with the hype sticker. And the third one, the heavier album. This is a really good one. I have it also on CD, I think. Maybe I can get it on vinyl if it. I don't think it. I don't know if it has been released, but it's a Psychotic Supper, a more heavier stuff, but a really good one with some big songs that got some radio airplay back in the day, and I think they still perform many songs from this album, and they did a good tribute or rendition to the late Steve Clark in this album with a cool song. This song is Song and Emotion. It's the last. I don't know if you can see it. There is Song and Emotion. It's dedicated to the memory of the late Steve Clark from the Leper. And the last three ones I'm going to show: the mighty Dio Ronnie James with his debut album, Last in Line. I keep it with this cool Turtles special price, 49. Try to get it at that price. Then the second one, Last in Line. This is a newer repress. It sounds really good. And the third one, Sacred Heart. I feel like the fourth one, Dream Evil without Bevan Campbell on guitars, but I think these are the best three things Dio put in his early days after leaving a big kickoff, being fired from Sabbath. And the last two are related, of course. One of my favorite singers of all time, and the guy that has fronted my favorite band from the mid 80s. It's Bruce solo stuff. His one, two, three, fourth album. His return to the more heavy metal sound we used to know him. The first one the first one I really like it because it's different from what he was doing in Maiden. He was still in Maiden, Tattooed Millionaire. It's more hard rock, more that type of music, not the heavy metal, the classic new wave of heavy metal that we used to know him doing in front in Maiden. That's one is really good. Then he did Balls to Picasso. That is really good, but you can tell he was changing his sound. He was trying to modernize and being cool with what was sounded at that year. Then he had Skunkworks, that is a real departure from what we used to know him doing, and also he was not going to promote that album under his name, Bruce Dickinson. That's why he had that band Skunkworks, but of course we all know the record label wanted to sell more records, and that's why it was released under his name. And then he teamed up again with Adrian Smith and put out this great album. And also we have here the addition of Roy Z as producer and guitar, and it's a really good return to form. And also here we have drawing by Derek Riggs. This is a really good one. Great songs, and it was good. It was really good seeing Bruce back on the heavy metal horse and riding along with Adrian Smith. Great stuff. Then he put another great one, The Chemical Wedding, a little bit more darker than the first one, not so radio friendly, if you can say this type of music is radio friendly. It's really a little bit more darker. We still have here Adrian Smith. We still have here Roy Z as a producer and also on lead guitars. It's a really good one. And finally, we have his last studio album. I think he's still working on another one, but maybe we'll have it this year or maybe next one. And it's the last one he did without Adrian on guitar, but just with Roy Z. And it's Tyranny of Souls, a really good one if you want to listen to the last thing Bruce ever did as a solo artist. Please check this one out. And finally, of course, I'm going to talk about Maiden. You can tell, you can almost make a case that the first 8 albums are all masterpieces, and you can start from the first one to the second, third, fourth, fifth, and you can almost check pick up any of those. But I'm going to start with the one that I discovered the band many years ago. I have told this story many times, so I'm not going to do it. Of course, it's The Number of the Beast. Maybe today my favorite Maiden album, Peace of Mind, and maybe one of my favorite artworks. Or maybe this is my favorite artwork. This is of course Power Slave. Those are my 3 picks from Maiden. Of course, maybe tomorrow I can start from Peace of Mind going up to Somewhere in Time, or from Power Slave and going to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, or start with the first one with Paul Diano and end up with Maiden. But yes, those are some stuff I wanted to show and share with you in this really cool thread. I'm going to try to jump and do another thread response to the one that's started by my good friend Mark C with the G, and maybe do some other contest entries in the next day. So that's it. Nothing more to add. Nothing more to say. I think in the background, I don't know if you can hear, we are listening to the Doors live, because I think on this day Ray Manzarek, the keyboard player, passed away 10 years ago. So listening to some Doors, it's good. Hope I won't get blocked. So that will be a pain in the ass, because I will have to do this video all over again. So bye bye.